question 1. I have my notes right here that I read. So, anyway, I somewhat agree with Stella Young because people's perspectives on disability, are very different based on their experiences with people with a disability, if that makes sense. I'll explain. Sometimes when people see someone in a wheelchair, they're like, oh, I'm glad that's not me, or oh, that sucks. And that shows a lack of empathy to me, and it focuses more on their own feelings rather than on the person with the disability. This is like pitying the person rather than understanding the person themselves. My dad, he has a rare back disease and he's disabled. He cannot work. He's not been working for 10 years now. But everyone who knows my dad knows him as a very successful, kind man, and not as just some disabled guy who can't get around. When we're in public, people often stare at him, and I can tell by their looks just what they're thinking. I believe that people who have more experience with individuals with disabilities tend to have a different attitude and don't objectify them as much. So, in my opinion, whether someone objectifies people with disabilities depends a lot on how familiar they are with disabilities themselves. Number 2, as a future teacher, I will keep an open mind and never judge, and always be willing to learn more about disabilities and diversity. As the years of teaching go by, I'm sure I will have many students with disabilities in my class, so I will ask questions and listen carefully to the parents and everyone else, and change any assumptions that I have about whatever disability the student has. To make sure I have high expectations for all my students, including those with disabilities, I will stay focused on their personal strengths and weaknesses instead of comparing the whole class as a whole. I know, like, when I was in school sometimes, especially in like middle school and high school, they would be like, oh, the class grade average was blah blah blah, or, you know, people did good on this section, and this percent of people got this question wrong, and like that just made me feel so bad about myself. Like, I'm not dumb. Anyways, where was I? Oh, everyone learns at different paces, whether they have a disability or not. Depending on the student, I will set them personal goals where they're not realistic, where they're not unrealistic. Yeah. But it will also challenge them. I want every student to feel confident with themselves and not think the person across the table from them is smarter and better. Number 3, inclusion is important so that no one feels left out or like they don't belong. When students with and without disabilities learn together, everyone has a chance to understand each other and respect each other, and it helps people make friends and feel kind and feel like they belong, and it just makes the classroom environment so much better, like more positive. Number 4, this is a long one because I have a lot to say. I was diagnosed with a mental disability at the age of 2 years old, and I know the main thing my parents struggled with was how to handle the disability, specifically de-escalating medical situations. They always worked with the teacher and told each other what worked or didn't work at home or school for de-escalating. So the number one thing to me from experience is communication. The second challenge I can think of is parents who might face financial stress. Most people know how expensive doctor's appointments in hospitals and therapy and medical equipment and all that is. Even with insurance, it's like ridiculous. A teacher can help support these families by sharing information about local programs that offer money or support. They can also be understanding or flexible with any school cost to make things easier on the family. The third challenge is balancing medical appointments and school. I know personally this was a challenge for me. Most doctor's offices are only open during school hours, which makes sense, but this means the student often has to miss learning time. The teacher can help by being flexible with attendance and homework when students miss school for appointments. Number 5, schools can encourage families to get involved by creating a welcoming environment. The school can reach out regularly to keep families informed with how the student is doing, and also providing opportunities for families to participate in the decision making with the teacher helps families feel like they are working together, and it makes them more comfortable with their student being in the school. Okay, that's it. Bye.